Utilitarian design and utilitarian...
What did you say?
Utilitarian.
Utilitubby.
Design. Utilitarian design and utilitarian style typography is one of my all-time favorites. I even pulled out the black t-shirt today to film this video because it's all about minimalism. Now there's gonna be a heavy emphasis on typography, which I know a lot of people struggle with. They wanna know what fonts to use for a certain style. Color-wise, today's gonna be really, really simple. I do have one tip for you, one trick that is gonna elevate this design style, and maybe you can funnel this into some of your other designs as well, not just the utilitarian style, but we're gonna look at some references on Pinterest. When you see me in a video, you know that Pinterest is gonna be involved. People say that you like it, so we're gonna keep doing that. We're gonna keep Pinterest going strong. We're gonna look at some references, and then we're gonna make a design of our own. So let's dive in. So over on Pinterest, I've gone ahead and found a really good example of some utilitarian design. You're gonna see right off the bat that it's black and white and typography. No mysteries there, no secrets there. The meat of this design style is how you lay the typography out though. The font that you use, the weights of those fonts and how they interact with each other, and how you align the type to kind of fit together. Something like this looks really, really great. This is utilitarian for sure. Looks like we've got a slide here. A lot of pitch decks, a lot of slide decks are moving in the utilitarian design direction. Something like this Nike right here, this is the same thing. They've got like random numbers on it that's like, I don't even know. Even this thing right here for Nike is the same. It's utilitarian, it's just type and black and white, and it looks sick. That's utilitarian design. So we're gonna go ahead and open a project here. For this, I'm going to be making just a book cover. I love design and typography books, and some of my favorites have very utilitarian style covers. And I kind of have my own dream of releasing a book at some point. I don't know what it would be on. It would probably be on design of some type, maybe something AI related or church graphic related. So I'm gonna play a little game today of what I would design if that happened. So my first tip for this utilitarian design is don't use just flat white and flat black. So flat white for the hex code, just 6 Fs, and then flat black, 6 zeros. We're going to use slightly off black and off white. Not cream, but slightly gray for the white. So I'm gonna select my color here, and I'm just gonna bring this down to something like this, EB, and that looks really great. And I'm gonna use a different font than Roboto, but just to show you the colors together, I'm gonna bring this up to something around here. Make sure that I still have good contrast though. And so just to show you the difference, this is a flat white shape, and then this is straight black. And so there's quite a difference here. This option right here with the softer black and white is way better to the eye. Even when it's printed, it feels better. It feels more natural. I find that this flat white and black option is just super cold and digital, and it doesn't feel human. And since the utilitarian design is really typography and very futuristic looking, we want to have some sort of human element to it. We don't want it to be devoid of the obvious fact that somebody created it. So we're actually softening our colors a little bit to make it feel more human. So we do have quite a few fonts that work really well for this style. I'll go over a few. This one is Familiar and Grotesque. Epilogue is a really good one. These are just very simple sans serif fonts. Public Sans is a good one. One that's a little bit more of an ink trap font is Bricolage Grotesque. These are ink traps right here where it cuts in on the letters. And Archivo is a great font as well. So that's 5 different ones that you can use. I think I'm gonna use Familiar and Grotesque for mine. Archivo is a close second. So the second thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to close the letter spacing on this quite a bit. If you go back and you look at our references, there's not really a lot of like open space between these letters unless the type is really small. It's almost like the bigger that your type becomes, the smaller the letter spacing is gonna be for these titles for this style. So I might even squish this together a little bit more. Something like -80 looks really, really great. And then we're just gonna start building a type layout. And so I'm just gonna come up with a title here, something like let's left align this to help ourselves out. I'm gonna say the evolution of church graphics.
Today. Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
My previous job, I did a lot of design for a bunch of different churches, so I think it'd be cool to compile stuff on that front. And so now it's time to start experimenting with the type. I might actually break this up into 2 different text boxes and like right align one and left align one. Something like that is starting to look cool.
Miss Jackson.
So now that we have our title, we're just going to start kind of building some sections. I'm going to, just so I have a little bit more flexibility, I'm going to grab this shape and I'm going to get rid of the fill color and just add a border color to this and make sure that it's that same off black. And then I'm going to make that stroke really, really thin. And that's going to allow me to add some different sections here. I'm going to add one to the bottom, up this a little bit. Yeah, something like that. A lot of the utilitarian design has just like random icons. So I'm just going to find an icon here that will work. Little shape, something like this looks great. Match our colors, always got to match our colors. And I'm going to make that real small. Set it down here. And I'm going to duplicate this and drag this over. And so we're just going to start building some almost kind of like a bento box style here. I'm going to copy some text. We'll make this smaller, but let's just say that this is maybe like the author name. And this works for any application really. This could be a poster, this could be a shirt. You're just trying to kind of build different sections and make sure that it's super minimal and super clean. And we're just experimenting a little bit here. I might say like publisher name, like as if it got picked up by a publisher or something. So that looks pretty cool. I like that down there on the bottom. And then we're going to add some more text here as well and just start building out the rest of this design. Maybe we could add like some of the chapter titles or the subjects or something. This is honestly one of the most difficult parts about this type of design is finding the text to use. I could lay it out with arbitrary text and make it look amazing, but then I have to actually figure out what all of that text is supposed to say. That's the more difficult part of this. So we're just going to type some stuff out like, and I've honestly seen a lot of different references that just take the same text box and then repeat it. So let's say if you had 3 of these and you wanted them to all be the same, you could click the little tidy button right here and it's going to adjust the middle one. So if I wanted them to be stretched out over that much space, I could click the tidy button and it would be there. So I like something like that. It looks super good. The only thing that I don't like about this is that there's more space here than there is here. So I'm going to grab all 3 of these and bring this down so that there's nice space right there. I wonder if I could actually size these up some, 55, just to fill a little bit more space. And I'm going to bring this down just so that we're kind of filling more of the canvas. Up here is cool, but then it's like you've got this blank space and this feels a little bit more defined down here. And I'm only going to add one more thing to this. I love when people that do this style of design do this. They'll just take a shape, like a line, to connect 2 different blocks of text together, like this. So it helps guide your eye from one part of text to the other. So this is just very clean, very minimal, heavy emphasis on typography. Take your time when choosing your fonts or just use one of the fonts that I suggested. That's the cheat code. And then you can just use the off-white and the off-black colors. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't think too hard about it. If you need to, just put some filler text in there and then go back and replace it when you have time. Here's the inverse version of this. It looks super awesome. So the main things that you're going to want to look for is clean typography, and then making sure that the spaces between your different blocks of text feel good. And the only way that you're going to be able to find what works is by finding a lot of ways that it doesn't work, right? So you're going to want to play around with this, allow yourself to have sandbox time, and just try different things. Left align this, right align that, space this out, crunch the letters together. Just give yourself time to experiment more and don't get frustrated immediately when the text just isn't looking like you want it to look. And then over time, you'll develop that muscle where you can kind of just know that something's not going to work, then you'll be able to kind of just shorten the different things that you're going to try. And maybe you only have 3 options in your mind and all of them are good. And then you weed those down to the final one that's good. All of this is going to take practice. Well, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this on some minimal utilitarian design. If you want me to do another one of these videos, a longer one, maybe that goes in more depth. We'll make multiple designs. We'll build out different kinds of projects. I will totally do that. Drop a comment down below if that is something that you want to see. Make sure to subscribe to the Kittl YouTube channel as well and leave a like while you're down there dropping your comment. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.